In the beginning, we were slaves to the violent chaos of this world. But there was one among us who rose up to lead us out of darkness. The ones who followed became the Legion of Dawn and protected those who could not protect themselves. In the end, she traded her life for our future. It is in her honor that we fight. And it is her legacy that will carry the day.
Grenade,
Right.
refresh.
Right.
So let me show you.
You want to explain
I
how
want
it
to
works. Yeah.
see
Great
it.
idea.
Right,
Great
so,
idea.
So I think it's about 12 seconds. So you
see
see
in
the
the-
little
Yep.
little bar raise. Now watch what happens when I hover.
Yeah, it's half.
Much faster. Like it's half.
Ridiculous. And
Yeah.
you can see they're the buffs on the left. Is that right?
Yes. Yep. So yeah, let me do
I can't
that
remember
again.
which one was which, but
So Raptor's Relief is the cooldown reduction,
Yep.
and Raptor's Sense is
is
my weak point.
damage. Yeah.
So you can see, and you see the electric explosion there that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do.
So you've got to defeat an enemy with your missile launcher.
So I'm going to do that. Oh,
Oh, you didn't.
didn't kill him. It's okay. I do a bunch of damage with that grenade, so it's cool, and it comes back fast.
Yeah, you better get on the ground. Okay. So let's see if we can get this here.
Okay.
So you defeated him.
Oh, see the-
you got
yep.
Victor's boost, I guess, which is grenade does extra damage, and then you got the grenade kill.
Right.
If that was a multi-kill, if it
I
was
would have
3,
gotten
you get
shield.
your shield back,
Yeah,
and if
right.
it was 2, we'd see our ultimate meter
Go up.
dip up. And I think one of the bugs here is you have a bunch of plus thruster, and I think it's not quite working.
What's not working, nor is the extra, the ultimate regeneration that I have.
Oh,
just
it's
just
not, okay,
base
yeah.
regeneration isn't,
Okay.
isn't working either.
Yeah, so you'd be able to hover longer and probably get your ultimate even faster than what we're seeing here.
Oh, I missed.
That's fine, because if you miss, you got to get those weak point hits through.
Yep.
Okay, so while
right,
you're doing
so-
this, I'll field some extra questions as you keep explaining stuff.
All right, so yeah, the grenades are really powerful, but slow, and we balance them that way. But this is
when
a
you're
good
hovering,
way
it's
around
amazing.
that. Right. I ran into some
So here you go.
trees
Now,
there.
now we're perfectly set up. Boom, into...
Oh, I didn't kill him. Yeah. So I chose hard difficulty.
Oh, did you?
Yep. So that we didn't one-shot everything. Sometimes these things, but you have to choose the right targets.
Right. No, but I think, just even showing off how when you weren't hovering versus hovering, like look how fast those cooldowns are coming up.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy when you're in hover mode. And then Darren's actually doing something, maybe subtle here, but he's purposely playing around the water. So as he's overheating, he's coming back and cooling himself faster by playing through the water.
Right.
So there's a lot of there's some environmental things you can do here to help.
All right.
Okay, there we go. Oh, that might be it. Nice.
Okay. Oh,
So your
sniper
ultimate's
shot me out of the
full.
air.
So if you also now, you could get your ultimate going.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, I'll answer some questions. Do bosses drop unique loot? Like if I did a stronghold and killed one of those giant gorilla-looking things,
Gorilla.
could I get, I don't know, a crazy quad-barreled shotgun? Man, I like the creativity in the question.
I have to make that.
So I think we've kind of addressed this, but generally the answer is by playing the game, there are loot tables, and the harder the content you play gives you higher chances of rarity amongst the loot tables. And those loot tables are kind of, if you're playing a ranger, you're more likely to get more ranger gear, or mostly ranger gear. Separately to that, we have a challenge system. So you can think of it as what some other games kind of use achievements as like, but there might be a challenge to be like, hey, go kill the giant gorilla thing 10 times, and on the 10th time you get a specific reward. And so we're trying to work out exactly how we'll kind of mix those challenges into the rest of the game. But the primary thing will be there are loot tables, and then between crafting and challenges, there'll be some outs to chase certain things. Okay, is there anything else you want to show? Because we're actually over time. Is there anything else you want to show here?
I mean, not really. I think we've complicated this enough. There's more things I could add to this build. There was a whole bunch of other stuff that I thought I should put in here, but
we wanted this to be the kickoff, right? So players could go, oh, wow, okay. Just with those things they've told us, which is only a small subset of all of the options available, man, what are all the different kind of options and thoughts we have of cool things that we could do? So what we might do then is flip. Well, actually, you can just keep playing around for a bit. I'll answer a few more questions, and then we'll start to wrap it up. So supportability got asked as a question.
Oh yeah,
we didn't show it, which actually for what you're doing here would be super useful.
Would have been super useful.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. It's free play, folks. So I don't know where the people are.
There we go. There was an event. Oh, you missed it. That's to the left. That's fine. There's some down there to the right. I shouldn't backseat drive. I think the lesson we learned right now is don't let Ben backseat drive.
I just need. So the equipment that I have here is. The muster point, the rally point rather. So,
don't you have bulwark on?
Do I? Okay, you're right. So this puts a shield around me, so that the projectiles can't get in.
Yep.
It doesn't. It blocks them, which is super handy.
Against
wyverns.
Do it.
I was overheating. Remember? But I can pop it in the air. If I time it incorrectly, I can't.
Yeah, so the bulwark is... Oh, nice, you found a ring gate. The bulwark will prevent projectiles coming in. So if you didn't get set on fire
all
from
the time,
the raptors and shot out of the sky...
It would have been much more dramatic.
But see, now you're hovering, though, to get it back faster so we can show it off, which is kind of cool.
So they have a long cooldown, but it's shortened when I'm hovering.
Okay, so we showed that. Is loot individual or shared? So loot is instanced to be individual loot. And again, there's no trading. It's really about you having to go and earn the loot yourself. And of course, any loot you get, you got 2 Ursics.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. I should run away, I know.
And remember, you want to salvage loot you're not going to use to get crafting materials to craft things that you may really want to have.
Yep.
Do inscriptions stack? I assume this means if I had 2 plus 5% flight times, would they work together?
They do. Yep, for sure.
They sure do. A question was, will higher level gear have wildly impactful abilities? I think that was an older question before we started showing all this, so the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
As you can see,
right.
Pretty impactful stuff. You can work in kind of your own rotations, if you will, or play styles based on putting these together. I think you should just
I know.
Go
I'm
away.
tempting fate.
So that's an interesting point, because you had mentioned this to me. We were playing around with this yesterday. You're like, this build is really about having to defeat a lot of enemies pretty quickly. That's where you get the most value. So then when you fight like an Ursix, like this isn't the best build to go and fight single target, high hit point, high damage.
I can't get those
and that's the trade-off, right?
Yep.
Now you could have made a different build that was balanced for that.
And my impact build would have been great.
Focused. Yeah, your impact build would have been perfect for it. It's all about single target damage with weapons. So there's going to be a lot of trade-offs here. And then if you think you're just one player, ideally you have a squad of you and 3 of your best friends, and you're trying to work out the builds that support the whole group, all 4 of you together.
Right.
So you might make a mixture of some people are there to take out the trash, so to speak, the easier to kill creatures, and other people are there to deal with the kind of priority target things, either the apex creatures like the Ursix, or even like a Scar Heavy, things that are harder to defeat.
So another interesting thing that we see here, because it's not working unfortunately, is I really needed the hover time to work. Me stacking that stuff.
Yeah. Like just loosely for players, like do you think it would be about twice? Like how much more hover are we talking? Because it's not infinite.
No, it's not infinite.
Oh, that was an awesome combo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's not infinite, and these guys have a lot of health.
Yeah.
But it needs to be extended to a point where I can reliably do a combo and not have to worry about falling out of the sky.
Right. Okay, that's cool. That's all part of the in-development nature of us grabbing a recent build that has some bugs. No big deal. Do enemies scale with your gear score? Or probably a better question is, how do enemies scale? Because we've talked about friends of any level can play together. So how would it work?
So the key to making that work is that enemies scale to your pilot level.
Right.
There are things that scale slightly differently, but the creatures.
Yeah. So the biggest boost you can get. Oh man, he's just wants. The biggest boost you can get is increasing your rarity. Is that right? Like at any
increasing
given
rarity
level
and
range,
item.
increasing rarity
item
would
level
be the best way to get ahead.
Item level and rarity. Yep.
Okay, cool. And then we've talked about this before, but if Darren's level 20 and I'm level 10, we can play together because we'll do, without getting into it, relative damage to the creatures and they'll do relative damage to us, so we can play together. But when Darren has a build like this with all these synergies, he will be more powerful than I will, or he will be able to defeat things faster because he has all these extra synergies and he has a breadth of things available to him. But we can still play together and have a lot of fun. He would never take me to do the hardest endgame stuff.
Yeah, I think he probably wouldn't.
He would come on my crit path missions, or we'd play, whatever piece of content together on some of the regular difficulties, and we'd be having a great time. Are there builds that can improve your melee?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So again, I was
of all the choices,
somebody suggested that I actually make a tanky ranger melee build, and I could have done that too.
Yeah,
right. Lots of melee components and things that apply to that. Oh.
So one question was, can you show the other gun? Which I think is not working. Is that right?
It doesn't work. Yeah, I was so excited to play with it.
We got like 42 minutes in before being caught with a weapon that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we found out that was bugged. We have top people fixing said bug, but it's not part of this build right now. Okay, so we might do, I don't know, 2 more questions and then we will sign off. We'll get a summary posted of the stream, and if there are questions in Reddit or other parts of social media, like we're kind of around in general, we'll poke in and see if we can answer some for you. If we wanted to get, just a couple more questions. So I've seen this a couple of times. Will there be swords or other things? So right now the way it works is each javelin has its own melee ability. So the ranger has the shock mace, it just has the shock mace, there are no other things. We like the idea of maybe somewhere down in the future, like we could do some more stuff, but at launch everyone kind of has their one thing.
Right.
And that will scale with pilot levels and things like that. So the next question, I'll field this one as well. What about raids and endgame content? So that's a much longer answer. So a lot of the kind of core loop to the game as you get through the crit path and get towards the endgame content is around taking on more challenging and more challenging content at those higher difficulties to get more rewards.
Right.
Then the question says, but hey, like I would like aspirational content. Like it's important to have aspirational content. And so we have some things coming that we're not quite ready to talk about. But as we get into the new year, we'll give some more detail on that. But certainly at launch, there's a lot of content and a lot of difficulty levels and a lot of ways to challenge yourself with you and your friends to try to get these rewards, find out what these amazing builds are, find the builds that are right for you, find the build that's right for you and your group, find the build that's right for you and your group across the 4 javelins, across multiple loadouts. There's really a lot of stuff to chase there, and a lot of amazing content to play to do it. But we'll talk about some of that other stuff a bit later. When can we see the Interceptor point of view? So, for those paying attention, a certain person promised we would show the Interceptor perspective next stream. Yeah, but what happened is last stream we had a couple of technical problems and we didn't get to show it. And then we promised we would show loot. But showing loot on the Interceptor that you'd never seen wasn't really going to make sense. So we wanted to show the Ranger so you could compare it to the Ranger we've showed before.
Sure.
So our hope is that next time we do a gameplay stream, note I said gameplay stream, that we will show the Interceptor's perspective. And so I realize I promised this thing. It accidental promise breaking, not non-intentional.
I would have shown it for him.
But thanks, Darren. But we will show it. We'll show it next stream. Next stream that we show gameplay. How many caveats do I need here? I need a lawyer present. But yes, we want to show off. Like, we love the Interceptor too. Like, we're really excited. I mean, it was the last Javelin that we built as a team, and it's been shown the least, and it's amazing. So we want to show it off as well. All right, so that's all the time we have for questions. We're going to do a little bit of a wrap up here. So, what are some of the things we covered? Let's not go through it, but just talk about it. So we talked about pilots and pilot levels, how that works. There's lots of loot in the game. It comes in multiple rarities. As you push through rarities, you get more inscriptions. The inscriptions are random from a big pool of over 100 or about 100 different things. You can combine all of these things together to make unique builds as you get towards the end game and you get some of the higher end rarities, like the build we've shown off today. Within the Forge itself, you can equip the 3 gear pieces, the 2 weapons, and then up to 6 components. And all of that as you level unlocks. So at level 1, you have like a weapon and 2 gear pieces. And then at level 4, you get like the 2nd weapon. And at level, I don't remember, 12 or 6, you get the 3rd gear piece, or however it works. And so all that unlocks on your journey to max pilot level. So that's kind of what we've covered today. We looked at the Colossus and the Ranger. So that was that. We're really excited to show this stuff off. You know, it's been a long time working on this, and it's great to show it off. Obviously, thanks to all of our amazing fans for tuning in again. You know, this community's been so great, so positive, and we really love interacting with all of you. So thanks for coming to watch us. Thank you to our amazing production team who set this up today. I don't know if you guys saw any of the photos we posted, but we really did a double upgrade to our streaming setup this time around. And it's been amazing. It's fancy. We have microphones and all this cool stuff. It's not that fancy, I guess, but we do have lots of fancy stuff. And the team actually was here super late last night, so thank you all so much. Obviously, thank you to the amazing dev team who built all this stuff. We get to represent them, which is great for us, but there are lots of people doing all this work in the background. So we're thankful to share that on behalf of them. We'll be announcing our next stream here pretty shortly to let you give you all a heads up of what we'll stream next. If you want to find out that information, you can follow us on Twitter at Anthem Game. You can follow me at Ben Ervo, because I like to go rogue and announce things sometimes also. But with all of that said and done, did you want to wish a farewell to anyone?
Yeah, farewell to anyone in particular. Anyone who came to nerd out with me about builds, which is probably my favorite thing in the world.
Like when Darren and I play games together, this is where he gets deep. Like he gets lost in builds, and it's like, man, can we just play the game? Well, I've got to do my thing.
Yeah, no, so your interests very closely aligned to our interests when it comes to having really cool things to allow you to customize your play.
Yep.
And be different than each other. Everyone wants to be individual.
Right.
So
and to see who can find that unique build that kind of blows everyone's mind, and we think there'll be a lot of community back and forth around trying to work it out.
Yep. And that's one of my favorite parts of being a developer.
Awesome. Well, Darren, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome having your expertise to kind of talk through this with everyone. So thanks for joining us. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a really fun stream, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Bye, folks.
I have seen the power of the Anthem destroy entire civilizations.
You have no idea what the Heart of Rage can do to that person.
I feel a new power in the world. It's calling me.
For generations, our people struggled just to survive.
Heading out. Let's go!
The Javelins allowed us to fight back the chaos. And the walls protected our families, loved ones.
Remember, we're a team. I'm right there with you.
It's a freelancer job. Always has been.
But the anthem still rages. And walls can only do so much. But with the power of the anthem at my fingertips, I will end all this needless suffering.